Okay, welcome to another episode of Professor Hatter. I am the professor, and class is in session. So today we're gonna go over college football. I'm gonna make a quick video as best I can, not going over about 5 minutes. Gonna make a quick video about college football season coming up. College football is my second favorite sport of all, behind baseball. I just like the college atmosphere. Before I was in college, it was one of my favorite sports, and now after college, um, even after going to a Division III school, college football is still one of my favorite sports because there's a lot of rivalry and each game means something. Whereas in NFL, I mean, a perfect season doesn't always happen. But like every game here with college football, if you lose, there's a possibility that you're not in the postseason, in the playoff picture, which kind of sucks. But there's a lot more tension, a lot more at stake. So I'm gonna go over the college football season this year. I'm wearing Cotton Bowl hat my friend Mitchell got for me when Western Michigan was a dark horse. No pun intended, because they're the Western Michigan Broncos. When they went to the Cotton Bowl in, I think 2 years ago, 2015 or 2016, or whenever it was, and they went 13-0, but lost to Wisconsin in the Cotton Bowl. So he got me the hat. He's in the band, plays trombone. So, gonna be switching out hats throughout the video. So, gonna start with the ACC. And my only ACC hat is Virginia, but they're not a football school. They're more of a basketball school, but after this past March Madness, I don't know if they're a basketball school anymore. With the ACC, Clemson is going to win it overall. They're going to go 13-0. They might have an upset too. In the middle of the season, they got upset to Syracuse last year. But I think Clemson will either go perfect or they'll just lose one game. Miami will win the Coastal Division, lose to Florida State. No, they're going to lose to Virginia Tech. And they're going to lose their first game to LSU in the beginning of the season. I'm looking at my laptop here, looking at my notes that I wrote down, because I can't think of all this off the top of my head without doing a little research beforehand. In the ACC, the dark horses will be Virginia Tech, UNC, and Florida State. I'm not happy about Florida State, but they could be a dark horse. The SEC, gonna kind of horseshoe around here. Alabama only has 3 ranked opponents in their season as of now, going into week 1, and they only come in the last 3 or 4 weeks of the season. And I forget the first 2. Then it's the Citadel that they always play every year, almost like a charity game, I guess you could say. And then they play Auburn at the end of the season. And they might. I'm going to say that Alabama is going to lose to Auburn. And Alabama is going to have all this quarterback controversy between Tua Tagovailoa and Jalen Hurts. And Saban is going to say, oh, it doesn't matter that, we have this kind of controversy. It's good to have controversy, kind of like Ohio State had that quarterback controversy between their starters after winning the title a few years ago, after the first college football playoff season. But it's going to hurt Alabama this time with the egos of the 2 quarterbacks. They're still going to win the West. Georgia will win the East. Go Dogs. And Georgia might lose to Auburn. Auburn is a dark horse in this conference, but Georgia is going to be like Clemson. Either they go perfect or they'll just lose one game and it'll be just a quick upset. Dark horses throughout. Oh, Auburn will be a dark horse, but they will lose to Mississippi State and Washington in week one. Other dark horses will be Mississippi State and LSU. Going to the Big 12, without Baker Mayfield, Ohio. No, sorry. Oklahoma will be outright conference champs, and they might lose. They'll probably lose just 2 games. I didn't really look at their schedule, but they'll lose one or two games, I'll say. TCU, I'm going to say they might pull the upset to Ohio State, because Ohio State will be missing Urban Meyer because of his 3-game suspension. It should have been more, to be honest, but whatever. Not going to get into that kind of politics of college football. But TCU could pull the upset, but only if they can get through the Ohio State defensive line, because that's a good defensive line Ohio State has. There's another Bosa boy there, and those guys are beasts on defense. TCU will eventually play Oklahoma. TCU will play Oklahoma for the Big 12 championship game, and TCU will win out that game to Oklahoma. Texas will go 8-4. They're going to be a dark horse this season. Other dark horses will be Oklahoma State and Iowa State. Go Cyclones for my friend Andrew from Concordia. ISU is going to pull out the upset to Texas and TCU. Going to the Pac-12, USC will win the Southern Division. They'll have a loss to Texas, Washington State, and maybe to Notre Dame at the end of the season. And I'm hoping for an upset by UNLV. Go Rebels. Oregon will make a stink of the North. They'll pull an upset to Stanford. Maybe to another team. It'll be an upset, or they'll just pull out another win. That'll be big. But the main winners of the conference will be Washington. They're going to lose to either UCLA, UCLA, as I say, or to Stanford. And that'll be their one loss of the season. But Washington will win the conference. Dark horses of the conference will be Oregon, Stanford, and Washington State. Quickly going through non-Power 5 conference schools. Notre Dame is ranked 12th right now. They will go 10-2 with losses to Northwestern, Stanford, maybe USC. Who knows? They'll stay just out of the playoff picture again this year. The other reigning national champions, UCF, they're going to lose. They're going to go 9-3 this season. Losses to UNC, Florida Atlantic University, and Navy. Boise State will go 9-3, lose to Oklahoma State, Nevada, possibly Fresno. NIU, one of my other favorite schools. They're gonna win. They're gonna win big to Iowa, to BYU, and they're gonna play the revenge game of the 2013 Orange Bowl and pull the upset to Florida State. When Northern played Florida State in 2013 for the Orange Bowl, I was graduating high school that year, and I wanted all my favorite teams to win the championships of each designated sport. And Northern went 13-0, or no, they went 12-0, yeah, and they weren't supposed to go that far. And this was back in the BCS system that was garbage. And Northern played Florida State in the Orange Bowl with who should have been the Heisman winner, Jordan Lynch, who not only broke the single game quarterback rushing record in late October, but he broke his own record in end of November for rushing yards for a quarterback in a single game. That's pretty impressive. And they lost, so Florida State was on my forever hate list of college football teams, except when Florida State was playing Auburn for the national championship title. So NIU will win big there. And on to the Big Ten. Big Ten is going to dominate this year for NFL chats now. Going to go Michigan State. We'll talk about them first. They're going to go 10-2. It was just announced today that they won't have any sanctions against them because of the Larry Nassar events situation. Very up in the air over the summer if Mike D'Antoni would stay with the team because of all the controversy. And they're going to go 10-2. They're going to lose to Michigan and Ohio State. Or at least they'll lose to Ohio State and one other team. Penn State and Wisconsin are going to go 11-1 in their divisions and win their divisions. Penn State will lose to Wisconsin or Michigan State in the regular season. Wisconsin will win the East, and their only loss will be an upset to either Illinois or Northwestern. I'm calling it now. Ohio State will lose to either Penn State or TCU, and then they'll also lose to Michigan. Michigan is going to go 10-2 this year, losing to Notre Dame and Penn State this year. Illinois is going to win big this year. They're going to go 5-8. Big comeback year for Lovie Smith. And they're going to have big upsets to possibly Wisconsin, Nebraska, and Northwestern at the end of the year for the Abe Lincoln Trophy. It's going to be a huge turnaround year for Illinois. I mean, hey, maybe they could pull a UCF. Maybe they'll go to Santa Clara and play for the conference, play for the national title. Who knows? So that'll be the Big Ten. So going to the college football playoffs, the first two out, personally for me, the playoff system should be 6 teams, like the NFL playoffs are. You have 2 play-in games to play the top 2 seeds. But first 2 teams out will be Wisconsin and Bama. And because Georgia is going to win over Alabama for the SEC title. So my 4 picks, who's in, will be Washington at 4, Penn State at 3, Georgia at 2, and Clemson at 1. Title game will be Georgia Bulldogs winning over Clemson. It'll be huge. It'll be epic. Georgia will still win, even without their big running back names, Sony Michel, and I forgot the other guy, but they were, Nick Chubb. They were huge to come back for their senior season, but the freshman quarterback, now sophomore quarterback, Froman, he's going to lead Georgia to a national championship title. But I'm going to talk about the team, college football team, that no one is going to be talking about, but is going to make a huge run this year. Concordia Chicago Cougars, they're going to go 10-2 8-2 this season. They only play 10 games. They're going to play Aurora. Well, they're going to lose to Aurora and Eureka, but they're going to pull big upsets to Lakeland College up in Wisconsin. That's an away game. They're also going to pull up big road upset games to Concordia, Wisconsin, and in Wisconsin, Lutheran College. So Concordia's gonna go 8-2 this year. Gonna be big, and possibly have Andre Jones, running back, win the Heisman. So go Cougars. I probably won't be able to get to the homecoming game this year. I went to one football game at my time for pep band and just never could go back because of work. But those are my predictions for college football season. Video went way longer than expected, but I talk a lot, so big surprise there. So keep looking for new videos. Gonna be revamping the channel, doing more videos now that the house will be a little bit more emptier. And good luck to everyone for college football season except for Ohio State, Alabama, Texas, USC, and Florida State. Hope you guys go winless this whole season. So that's this episode, and thank you for watching. Hats off to you. Class dismissed.